What's up, visionary?
What's good?
Welcome to another episode of Visions of Love and Relationships. I'm Tanya, and I'm joined by my wonderful husband.
Lamont.
And we hope you're doing well as usual.
As usual.
So we've been talking on accountability. We've been talking on a whole bunch of good relationship things. So if you missed it, make sure that you go back and check out all the videos, wonderful videos that we put out to help relationships get healthier and last longer, with these tools and resources that we put now. And that's our mission. Our mission is to help couples create, maintain, and have a lasting marriage, up all the way up from dating to marriage. Yeah. Our mission is to help you guys to have a good, happy relationship like we have. But I'm not gonna hold you. We're gonna hop on into what we want to discuss today, which is embracing the differences in your relationship in between you guys. Okay, embracing the differences.
Communication.
Not really communication. We'll get more into communication next week, but just the differences that between a man and a woman in a relationship, because there's different things, we think differently. Like, it's just different things that's different between a man and a woman. So again, like I was saying, men and women think differently.
Yeah.
So we all know, or you might not know, that men are more logical thinkers.
Yeah.
And that's
things in a more logical state.
Yeah.
And ready to get to the solution.
Mm-hmm. They don't have to go around the world to come up with a solution. But us women, we like more emotional thinkers. So we think with our emotions. So we like to talk it out. We like to go back to what happened yesterday. We like to talk about that thing. So yeah, that's one of the differences that we have to embrace. Us women, we have to know that our man is just more logical. He thinks logical.
Yeah.
Okay. So if he's talking to you and he's getting straight to the point, sometimes we have to step back as women, because we are emotional thinkers, and actually process what this logical man is talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you got to process, because if we don't process, like if you don't process when somebody is like a man, he may be a quick, ready to get to a solution, ready to come with logic, and you a woman that likes to process things, or maybe a man. Sometimes the shoe can fit on either foot. Mm-hmm. A man can be the emotional person, or the woman can be the one that's logically thinking. Whatever be the case, but if we jump inside trying to play our part in the game in communication, because when we process, we thinking, most of this process of thinking goes on with our partner in communication.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it mostly goes on. We can process and think by ourselves, but when mostly it becomes conflictual, it's when we're doing it in the communication.
Mm-hmm.
That means we trying we using logic and emotion in every communication that we have with each other, which is not saying it's all bad, but in certain instances, it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. So another thing we have to do is just, we got to slow down. Yeah. So just, again, slow down with what we say. Again, I can't say it enough. That's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we won't speak so quick. We just need to process.
Yeah.
All right. And again, we've been talking on perspective as well.
Yeah.
So once you processing and you slowing down, it's giving you a chance to actually think about your partner's perspective, or kind of understand it better.
Process
it. Yeah.
And it is so extensive that we pause inside a conflict, because like I said, sometimes our partner can say something to us, and because we're not able to quickly process it, we're gonna just open our mouth and say something quickly, trying to quickly give him a response or give them a response, mm-hmm. not knowing that we didn't fully thought about it. And then when we come out our mouth and say something that's not fully thought of, our partner gonna say something else, and all of a sudden we're in conflict, because we didn't take our time to process the communication of what was said to us in our style of process.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to go with the way our partner process. He might be quick, or they might be quick, and we quickly trying to give an answer, and we need time. So that's why it's essential that we pause and take the time we need if you somebody who got to process things that your partner saying to them, take the time to be like, oh, I need time to process this. Not being aggressive with the brush off, but let your partner know I cannot process this right quick.
Yeah.
That's being vulnerable, so your partner can give you time to process what they just said to you.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to just know your partner.
Yeah.
Know your partner and embrace that difference, because if we don't, even if we don't step back and process things correctly, we're gonna have a lot of confusion.
We're gonna rush into
it's gonna be a lot of misunderstandings, and we just come up with our own conclusions.
Yeah.
Like we're not taking the time to actually view our partner's point. We're not processing. We're not, and all these things will ultimately, if done,
lead to misunderstanding.
No, not what I mean is if we do take our time to process and everything, we can create a healthier balance in our relationship,
and we are to respond more constructive to what was said versus
what we thought
was said.
Absolutely. So yeah, that processing builds better communication between a couple, in a relationship. It improves the communication when you appreciate these differences within each other, because again, we're different.
Yeah.
Like God didn't make one person the same. So number one, our fingerprints are different.
Yeah. Okay. Our processing is different.
Our processing is different.
The way we respond is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, so when the conflict comes into place and we trying to respond and think like our partner does, and we're not like them.
Right.
So you got to process and you got to think in your own way, so that way you communicate effectively in your own unique way, without coming with the aggressiveness, without coming with the passive communication styles that we'll talk about in the next video.
Yep. The next video we will definitely touch more of the communication styles. So another thing is that, embracing your partner's differences also brings on mutual respect.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. You gotta respect the person who can sit back, process, and come back out with, something that's not like damaging.
Yeah.
You gotta respect it.
Yeah. Yeah. And because this opens up for you to share your personal, your real experience, and not just sharing a response experience. You're actually sharing your true feelings, because you don't process stuff and you're not just responding to what was said or what was done to you.
Right. I know, another thing to recognize is that you just both came from different backgrounds. So the way you process things could be how you grew up, how you seen your family processing things. It's different. Mm-hmm. It's like a different culture. It's just different. Like everybody is different.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah. I think, like I said, as far as what you said, but sometimes your family, you might come from a family that's used to brushing stuff up under the rug.
Yeah.
So therefore, your process, you don't even it takes you used to leaving situations, then coming back. So therefore, you trying to process stuff like your partner. You trying to handle a situation right then and there, but based on your family tradition, y'all used to running and brushing stuff on the rug. So as far as you doing something like handle something right now, that's not in your nature.
Yeah.
So and when you jump out of character, you open up the door for conflict to come in, because that's not what you're used to doing. Sometimes you got to process things the way you used to processing.
Yeah.
But be open to new solutions that's more healthy than the way you was processing.
Yeah.
So you got to be open to your partner getting constructive criticism by your partner, so you can change your things that you can't change.
Right. Yeah. And in conclusion, embrace each other's differences.
Yeah.
All right. Embracing each other's differences again creates mutual respect. It's gonna even create more intimacy.
Yeah.
It's gonna create trust. It's gonna create a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's just remember, everybody different. Everybody process different. And I think that, if it's something, I think you should play more into like a team when it comes to like the different things in your partner. Like if your partner is more of a creative person and you more of a thinker or a logical thinker or something, like play it together, like put your partner in a role, you know.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah.
You know, and I guess I'm kind of talking about if you're working together, and I guess I'm putting it in our perspective or something, but no, really though, like playing to it, that might have been a bad example, but like kind of playing to your partner's differences.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Like I said, give your partner time to process things in certain situations. But like I say, if you're somebody who needs time to process the information when your partners come to you, then take the time. Don't jump into a quick
answer,
a quick back and forth with words, and you're not a good with words. You're not a good, like I said, some people can some people can argue, some people can't argue.
Yeah.
Some people, instead of arguing, they end up using aggressive language. They start calling people out of name, being disrespectful,
and getting defensive because you don't know what to say. Like you can't bring out your feelings or your emotions or what you're trying to say
because you don't know how to argue.
You don't know how. Yeah.
You don't know how. Some
so
people cannot argue, so you get frustrated. You all defensive. You all hysterical, and you get loud, and you're not a person to get loud because why? Because you don't know how to argue. And you're not processing things the way you know how to process things. You jumping in an argument, you somebody who don't like to argue because you like to process things.
Yeah, so if you need to take that moment to step back and process it, just be sure to ask your partner for permission. It ain't like y'all on the same team, so it ain't the thing like I ain't asking him for no permission. I don't need no permission. It ain't that kind of thing. That's still kind of defensive. Ask for permission to,
process what
come back later. Can I process
what you just said to me?
Yeah.
Simple as that. Can I process what you just said to me? And if your partner loves you, they're gonna say, okay, I'll let you process it, but come back to it.
Yeah.
Don't spend 5-10, don't spend too much time processing. Take a pause, a couple of minutes, and then you come back to it. Yeah. And don't come back to it with a defensive mechanism after you come back to it. We done gave you your partner gave you time to process, and all of a sudden you come back with a defensiveness. You spent all that time to process, and the first thing you come back with being defensiveness. Don't do that. That's not a way to move the relationship forward.
Yeah, I think a good rule of thumb is that we're looking for a solution, and not to further the problem. So when you're coming back with your from process, and make sure you come back with a solution. In there. Yeah. So make sure to join us on our next video where we'll be talking about different communication styles. It's so important to know your partner's communication style so you can know how to handle, certain situations. Yeah. And communicate properly. Yeah. All right. So this has been another episode of Visions of Love and Relationships. Again, I'm Tanya. This is my wonderful husband.
Lamont.
Much love. They had vision, and together they built the life that they love.
Go
build.